Well, it looks like we're live.
Okay.
Hey.
Hello.
Howdy.
We are live.
This is Joe Cleon.
Hi, you're at my place.
Yes.
My bourbon room.
The Bourbon Room.
My good friends, Eroc, Eric Sosinski. Wish you were here, merch goddess, Kelly Delaney.
Hi.
And I am going to try and share this now on my page.
We're going to see if we can get
Share
it all
now.
to work here.
Okay, I think I'm sharing. I'm going to go back to my page and see if I'm sharing.
We've got 5 bourbons aligned up here that we are going to be rating. And of course, as you also heard, we're going to be starting off with a non-bourbon item called Jeppson's Malort,
Yes,
which
something I've been kind of afraid of. I went down the Malort rabbit hole last night and watched a whole bunch of videos about it, and it's kind of scary. I took a few notes too. It's a Swedish-style liqueur flavored with wormwood. I don't know if you knew that or not.
wormwood.
Which is in absinthe.
Absinthe,
Yeah.
okay.
Introduced in the 1930s in Chicago, and it's become kind of a Chicago staple, a Chicago tradition, a rite of passage in Chicago.
Do we have that bottle? Just to show people what we're doing?
I have. I didn't want to buy a huge bottle, so I bought a bunch of little airplane bottles because they were cheaper.
Yes.
And this is probably the only time I'll ever drink it because it's well known throughout the world as the worst liquor on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2018, it was sold to a Chicago distillery, still made in Chicago. And as of April last year, it became distributed in Ohio. So you can actually get this in Ohio if you're brave enough to try it. It's a rite of passage for people in Chicago. So since I've been going to Chicago a lot to see my girlfriend Kelly, and since Kelly Delaney goes
Not
to
me.
Chicago a lot, no, Kelly goes to Chicago a lot too. So, but she's done it before.
Yes.
I have not done it, so this is going to be my rite of passage. And my girlfriend Kelly has warned us, and especially wanted me to warn you again, Eroc, that we should not do this. So you can still bow out if you want.
Got water.
Yes. Here's some water.
Joe's trying to debate whether we should do it last or first, and I thought we should do it first because I don't want to drink all this good bourbon and then have to taste that and either make me Ralph or, have that be the last thing that I tasted.
I found a great article in the Chicago Sun-Times where they polled 100 Chicagoans and told them to give them their description of Malort. And I wrote down a couple of my favorite ones. One person said it tasted like swallowing a burnt condom filled with gasoline.
Ooh.
A shot of vinegar mixed with pickle juice and turpentine. And then it tastes like crying alone in a bathroom stall.
I heard a lot of descriptions of shame and shoes.
Yes.
Go
Go ahead. Sorry.
My personal favorite was sticking a straw into a compost pile and sucking out the liquid center.
Oh, wow.
Being dumped 10 minutes before prom in high school. So we want to grab an ice cube and we can try some Malort.
Jeppson's Malort liqueur.
And once again, you can get it in Ohio. If you go to ohlq.com, which is the Ohio liquor website, you can put in Malort and it will give you a list of all the stores that carry this exciting elixir.
Okay.
I got a bottle here.
You got bottles. Okay. You got them out.
Grab a cube.
Do we have to do are we doing the scenario mode of Getty Elite candle?
Yes, we will.
Votive canning when we start the bourbon?
No, we're going to do it before. We
okay.
need Getty to guide us through the
We're gonna need that
Malort.
for the
Okay,
Malort.
we'll take one.
Go ahead.
One?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. What's that?
Yes, this was a great Christmas gift from my girlfriend Kelly, the Getty Lee devotional candle.
Yes.
So we can pray to Getty as we're swallowing this Malort.
I've got a Jägermeister one at home. I think. I want to say Colin may have given that to me. I'm not sure.
All right, Getty.
Guide us,
We ask your guidance. Hopefully it'll keep going.
Let's see.
So how much of this should we do? Should we each do a whole bottle?
That is up to you.
No, I think we just need to do one shot.
Well, I think a shot is one bottle, isn't it?
I don't know. We'll see.
Well, how about we do, let's see, we'll fill it up to the top of the stem. How about that? Well, let's see. A little more. A little for the reindeer, a little bit for Santa Claus, a little bit more for Santa.
Just a little bit more.
I say.
You've done it before, so you should get the whole bottle.
Oh, geez.
Kelly has done this before.
Oh,
Do you want the whole bottle?
And I don't know why.
Joel.
So you're
That means
either very brave for doing it again, or
That means I have to save.
or very
half
stupid for doing it.
That means I have to save half a bottle of this.
Every time I go to Chicago, I do Malort. Last time I was there, we did a barrel-aged Malort, and that was...
Barrel aged. So you have some weird friends if they keep a bottle of this
I
handy
have-
to drink it all the time.
I love my friends, you guys included. We're all
Okay,
very...
well, okay.
That's probably more than I should have poured, but there's still a little bit left.
By the way, if you see me looking off to the side, I've got my laptop set up here. If anybody sends any comments, we want to
How's
see.
that nose on that for you?
We are doing 23. I see 23 viewers on right now. So.
It smells like a dirty nose. The nose is a dirty nose.
A dirty condom for
It's
you?
interesting. What do you call it?
Smell?
Take a look. Yeah.
Smell the Malort.
It smells like.
How's that smell for you?
It's mine.
It
That
smells like
wormwood?
it smells like I've wrecked my bike and my face mashed into the
Face
dirt.
plant.
Yeah. I don't know.
I can't. I'm not really smelling anything.
I think it's a weak smell just to deceive you before you get the taste. I don't know. I'm kind of afraid I'm gonna like it.
Oh God. Okay, this is just in case you're tuning in. This is the pre-bourbon tasting Malort tasting.
It's known by many as the worst liquor in the world.
I'm not seeing any comments. I don't know if are we live? We
I've
should
got
be.
some
Yeah,
comments
it is
coming up.
live.
Yeah, I've got comments.
Oh, okay.
I see 23 people live.
Okay. You're seeing comments?
I've got comments.
Oh, okay. Oh.
I do have a cooler here if anybody feels the need to vomit after drinking Malort. I can pass you the cooler. Just
That's it,
make
right
sure
up
you
there,
let me
yep,
know.
yep.
There you go. There's your comments. I just had to
Oh, okay.
close to appear in the slide video. Ace is cheating.
It is.
Charles Thomas. It's a Kelly. Kelly Wood says, "I'm proud of you."
Oh, nice.
We haven't done it yet. Taylor says, "Do a double."
I wasn't sure Kelly was going to be home from work in time to
Do a
watch.
double. Dennis Belinsky. All
Okay,
right,
well,
Stabs.
all right, Taylor.
Very
We got a
good
little
fun.
bit of a bottle left. We're just going to do it. We're going to do two
That's
bottles
enough
between the three
for
of
me.
us.
What are you guys gonna drink? Jeez.
All right.
Oh, jeez.
Two whole bottles.
What?
Two of these
Why does
bottles
Elsa have
between the
most?
three of us.
Well, you have the most, I think.
We're all right about
We're all
there.
about the same.
I'm a good mixer. We're
Okay.
We're even.
Oh, you're good.
We're even.
Good.
Okay, this is Jeppson's Malort.
I'm afraid.
Is there a bag anywhere? Okay, I've got a bag over there in case.
Got
I have a
cooler
cooler. I have a
over
cooler.
here.
Just say no. Just say
Yep.
cooler, and I'll hand it to
Okay.
you. You ready?
All right.
On three. One,
Cheers.
2, 3.
Salute.
Cheers. Oh, it's getting worse with time.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep.
Oh God!
Formaldehyde?
It's like
Oh.
it just gets
Oh.
like when you first swallow it, it was okay, but then it gets worse and worse.
Like
It's
dill pickles. and
It
then
reminds
got-
me like I had a poodle when I was a kid, and like every 6 months my mom would have to have his anal gland like released. And one time when I was sleeping, it drained all over my bed, and that's what it reminds me of.
Thanks, Joe.
wow.
Joe.
Revelations here.
I don't think I've ever told anybody that story.
I've never heard that.
One time to tell it too.
Oh,
I,
how about a
It's-
palate cleanser?
Yes.
it's
Now,
it's like a sour, like I said, formaldehyde, some kind of like battery acid,
turpentine.
turpentine. It's
The greatest thing about it is that Eroc, who is the master of alcohol, was speechless by Malort. Malort made Eroc speechless.
It's not formaldehyde. It's
I could still, it's just like assaulting my throat.
it does have this feeling that pulls you back. That's. I must say it was not as bad as I thought it was.
No, I thought it was going to be stronger.
Yeah.
Now you said you've had barrel aged Malort.
I've had barrel aged Malort.
Was it a lot stronger?
I
Aged Malort. Jesus Christ.
couldn't even tell you the difference between regular Malort and barrel aged Malort.
This
They're
is
just
70
all
proof.
tasted the same.
God, the
This
look
is-
on your face.
This is 70 proof. I don't know what the barrel age is. Probably like 100 proof or whatever.
This is-
My nose was a little stopped up. It did kind of clear my sinuses a bit. You want to do another one?
no. Has the aroma, full body flavor of an unusual botanical. But
Would you just like to take a bottle home?
Its bitter taste is savored by two-fisted drinkers.
Two-fisted drinkers.
Yeah, I know. Let's see if I can get Blake to do it or something, or Bob.
Dude, please take one. Take two.
Oh, I don't know. We'll think about that.
All right.
Wow.
So the worst is
All right.
over.
The best is yet to come.
Even after water,
The worst is still behind us.
I could still taste it.
Yeah. It really sits on your tongue for a while.
It does. It's
It's
it's like a prolonged rape of your taste buds.
Oh.
That's one way of putting it.
That's a good palate cleanser.
I think we needed like battery acid or turpentine as a palate cleanser.
Battery acid might have helped.
I can still taste it. Okay, so we don't have
We do have to cleanse the
yes,
glasses.
I'm going to rinse the glasses so we don't have bourbon that tastes like
No
Malort.
fair. Where's the tip jar? Hey, Scott. It's got on. Taylor, yes, I think we can probably find a worse alcohol. There's got to be something that's worse tasting than that. Might be hard, but not like that.
Like a hard liquor? Like what would be worse?
I don't know if I'd want to try something
Worse
worse
than
than
that.
that. But I don't think it's the worst I've ever drank. Although I couldn't tell you what it may have been that was the worst. Maybe something that's like spoiled or something.
I don't think I mean, most of the time when I drink alcohol, it's pleasurable unless I drink too much and
Blackened.
get sick. But that was one of the first alcohols that just really tasted shitty. Okay.
Now
Wild
you've been
stuff.
christened.
Yes.
Wacky, wild
So,
stuff.
according to Kelly Woods, now I have street cred in Chicago.
Hey! So do I, next time I go there.
Yes.
Yay!
Okay. New ice.
Cube for you.
New cube for the cleansed out
Glass?
sisters.
Okay, so
So that was our.
wow.
That was our.
Now we're going to move on.
Now
to,
we're going into the real bourbon.
Yes. Now we're going to move on to one of my favorites.
Careful.
This is called Bernheim. This is a wheat whiskey, and regular Bernheim is my favorite, but this is a special version of Bernheim. When Kelly Woods and I took a vacation on the Bourbon Trail last fall, we did a tour of Heaven Hill, the distillery that makes tons of different bourbons. Bernheim is one of the ones they make. And at the end of the tour, you could bottle your own bottle straight out of the barrel.
Okay.
And so I washed the bottle, I dried the bottle, I filled the bottle, I labeled the bottle, I capped the bottle, and I sealed the bottle.
There's your writing.
That's so I could get it at the cash register so I knew it was my bottle. You had to put your name on it. So this bottle I did completely all by myself. I haven't opened it yet. So I'm going to open it right now. And it's a wheat whiskey.
Ginsu and Baka.
It's a wheat whiskey, which means they use wheat in the mash bill.
Easy, OJ.
And it's supposed to be smoother, but this is right out of the barrel and it's not diluted. So it's 123 proof. So it's a pretty strong one.
Okay.
And this is probably, I think, my most expensive bottle. I think it's just a little over $100. As you can see, I have a lot of bourbon back here I've collected over the years, and I don't buy the ungodly expensive stuff. I got a couple $60, $70, $80 bottles, but most of them are 30 or 40. But since this was my favorite and I could bottle it myself, I splurged and spent $100.
On it now. It's got your name.
Yes, and it's 120 proof, so it's pretty.
It's a big boy.
It's pretty strong. Yeah, I mean your average bourbon standard is 80 proof, so this has got about 20% more alcohol than a Jim Beam or a regular standard bourbon.
An adult version of a man cave. Hey, Dale.
What version of a man cave?
Well, we are at Joe Cleon's bourbon room. Joe Cleon's bourbon room.
Yes.
Someone was asking where we at.
Oh, yes. So this is Bernheim, barrel proof, 123 proof. Bernheim, yes. And this is one of my favorites. It's a wheat whiskey, so it's supposed to be a little bit sweeter and smoother because they use wheat in the mash bill.
Wheat.
And we're gonna do wheat. It's like Cool Whip.
Cool Whip.
We're gonna do a rye whiskey, which is more spicy and hard. Compare like rye and wheat bread, you know. And this is supposed to be the sweet, smooth. At 120 proof, I don't know how smooth it's going to be, but we'll find out. Cheers.
Cheers.
Smells sweet. Ooh, not hot for 120 proof, really. You think so?
I don't know. I can feel a little heat.
I like it.
Definitely on the top of the.
Oh, we were gonna rate.
Okay.
We have a rating sheet here. We're gonna rate all these on 1 to 10 to see who the favorites are.
It seems like the heat is almost overtakes the flavor for me.
Probably because of the high proof.
but
The
it
regular-
does have flavor.
the
It doesn't
regular-
have a after as much.
The regular 80 proof Bernheim is really sweet and not hot.
I'm still getting the top heat.
It's got a heated finish.
Yeah. What do you think, Kelly?
Same.
I did try that when we were doing the tour, because they did do a tasting where they put a flight of stuff out, and the Bernheim was one of them. But I didn't remember kind of with the other 5 what it tasted like. But I like that. That's good.
And you said this is 120 proof?
123.2 proof.
Okay, so 61 something.
61.2, I think, or whatever.
Percent.
Yeah. Yes. It says that on the bottle.
Bernheim.
I labeled the bottle.
By the way, since we are rating, did you guys rate the Malort?
I did.
Is there? She asked if there's a negative number.
Yeah, can we go negative on the Malort?
You can write that in. Sure.
Write in on that?
I don't even think I need a palate cleanser for that, because that was pretty damn good.
Okay. Trying to rate. Okay, 1 to 10. It's hard when it's the first one because you're comparing.
Right.
But you drank a lot of bourbon, so compare it to other stuff, or just how you like it. Or
Gotcha.
going to
Rate it.
clean your glass.
Reed's watching again.
How many we got? 20
Tim Ginley. I highly recommend Uber tonight. We'll see. There's a possibility. Yes, it's always a good possibility.
I did this at my place, so I don't have to go anywhere. I can just stagger into the bedroom and pass out. Okay, so next.
Yeah, we've got chicken cock actually coming up here.
Yes, and they say you've never lived till you've tasted chicken cock. And so we're going to taste it. So next is something that's a bit rare, but you can find it in Ohio. And this is Buffalo Trace, but this is a kosher version, their rye recipe. And I've been doing the bourbon thing for about 6 or 7 years, and I only found this a couple of months ago, if you want to hold that closer to the camera. And you go to the OHLQ website, and you can put in any kind of bourbon or any alcohol that's available in Ohio, and it will tell you the current inventory all across the state where you can buy it. And I saw this on an East Side ghetto store, like East 140th or something, way in the ghetto. And I drove out there like on a Tuesday morning, and I thought I was going to die. I walked into this ghetto store that was dirty and smelled, and I bought this bottle for $50, and there was like 5 people by the counter, and they looked at me like I was crazy, like I was spending $50 for a kosher bottle of bourbon.
Buffalo Trace Kosher Rye.
Yes, and this goes for $40 or $50 MSRP, but on the secondary market it goes for as much as $200 because Buffalo Trace stuff is allocated. It's hard to find, so people buy it and flip it. And I've seen this on online retailers go for as much as $200. And this has been completely rated and certified kosher. And it has another Chicago connection, since we're talking about Malort in Chicago and me and Kelly going to Chicago. This has been certified as kosher by the Chicago Rabbinical Society or whatever, the Chicago Society of Rabbis. And they even clean the lines before they bottle this, so the kosher bourbon doesn't touch regular bourbon in the lines. So it's 100% kosher.
Okay.
So,
Mazel tov.
yes, we need
And
a
L'chaim, we taste it. L'chaim.
grab a cube.
L'chaim. For life. I hope you all are enjoying these as much as we are and drinking along with us at home if you
Well,
like.
we're at 29, so if we were down to like 5, I would say we were boring, but I think we're doing okay.
We're at 27.
Whoops.
Sitting at
Well,
five.
that's right. Okay. I actually have 2 bottles of this because the next week another ghetto store had another bottle of this, so I went and bought it. And then another store had a bottle of the wheat, the kosher wheat version. And that's up there on the shelf. And I got a bottle of the wheat. And those 3 weeks I saw this at the beginning of like November, I've never seen it in any other store since. So they bottle this, they send it out in the fall, and when it's gone, it's pretty much gone. So it's kind of a little bit of a hard to find kind of thing. And
We'll put this out in front here so while we're drinking it.
This one.
yes, this one.
Yep.
And that has my wristband from when we went to the tour of the Buffalo Trace Distillery.
Okay.
So here we go, Buffalo Trace Kosher Rye.
Kosher Rye. L'chaim.
Cheers. Smells good. It taste how that's a little pepperier, a little spicier than the last one
Ooh.
Yeah.
because of the
Oh,
rye.
it does have a, yeah,
It's like
it
more
does
of
have a spicy.
it's more of a pepper, kind of a spicy.
I like that one. I like the rye better.
There's a Rittenhouse rye, if you've ever heard of that.
I
Yeah, it's a
haven't.
rye whiskey. It's really good.
Hey Ryan, since you're new to the bourbon world,
The sales of the Rittenhouse rye went crazy during the Kyle Rittenhouse
Okay.
trial, even though it has nothing to do with it.
Ryan, the GM of the Agora, who rolled his Jeep yesterday. So glad that you are okay and walked away from it. Thank you.
Yes.
Thankfully.
Yes.
Yes,
And,
nice that you're good. I just
Glad that you're able to enjoy watching us tonight.
I just photographed Story of the Year there about a week ago, and had a
the Agora.
really great time at the Agora. Yep, that was a great show.
We love the Agora. It's our, wish you were here as a home venue now.
I took my daughter to see Story of the Year there a long
Oh,
time
yeah,
ago,
yeah.
and Marshall from NCX got us backstage, and she got to meet them because of Marshall, and it was a very cool thing.
Marshall
that
Gowdy
we did.
he's the man.
Yes.
Ron Schneider, cheers. Lori Hammond. Oh, hey, Lori.
Oh, so we have to rate the rate the rye.
Rate the rye.
Rate the rye. Okay. So they had a spicy. It was an interesting.
So most bourbons use, for it to be considered bourbon, it has to be 51% corn in the mash bill.
Okay.
And then they either use rye and barley, wheat and barley. They can change the mash bills around. Okay, so I like that one. Okay, so next,
Ruthie.
now we're going to do like a complete 180. Where
Kurt
is it?
Tripto, hey.
This is one of my favorite ones that you cannot get in Ohio. This is called Kentucky 10. And I get this at Benny's in Chicago. You're familiar with Benny's because we've talked about
The
it.
big liquor
I sent you to
superstore.
Benny's.
Yes.
That's the liquor superstore in
Yes.
Chicago, right? Yeah.
Yes.
The biggest Benny's in Lincoln
Cities.
Park is like the size of the Kmart, and it's just nothing but liquor. That's where I got that Eggo stuff that we tasted last time we were doing the live stream.
Yeah. Rick, we started with the Malort, Rick Straw, by the way. We did start with the Malort to get that out of the way. It was
So
so
this
when we're finished, you can go back and watch the beginning of it and see our reactions.
So this is
Okay.
when I saw at Benny's, and I'm a fan of the wheat whiskeys, like we were talking about with the Bernheim. And so I saw this on the label that it said wheat whiskey. And when I was sitting there in the aisle, I did a little thing on my phone and read a review, and it was good, so I bought it. And I love this. It's about $40.
Kentucky 10, we're
And
talking about here.
yes, Kentucky 10, and the 10 is because it's sourced from a distillery that's the 10th oldest distillery in Kentucky. I don't know why you'd be proud of being the 10th oldest, but they're the 10th oldest. It's called the Green River Distilling, I believe.
Is this owned by any of the main ones or no? Or is this their own independent?
It's their own independent. They get the juice from the Green River Distillery and they age it themselves, and it's kind of their own thing. And it's a wheat whiskey and a wheat bourbon. Whereas the Bernheim is a wheat whiskey where instead of 51% corn, the majority of the mash bill is wheat. This is a wheat bourbon, which means it still has to be 51% corn, but then the second highest ingredient in the mash bill is wheat. Are people making fun of me?
No, I'm just reading it. Brian Miller, hey, good to see you see Rock drinking something other than Jaeger. No, I do drink more than Jaeger. I drink Jaeger at my gigs. When I'm not at gigs, my go-to is either Tito's vodka or bourbon.
So this mash bill is corn, wheat, and barley, and it's 90 proof, and it's about $40. And I really like it. It's one of my favorites.
Kentucky 10.
Grab a cube.
Does the 10 stand for anything?
Yes, it's the 10th. It's from the 10th oldest distillery in Kentucky.
10th oldest. Gotcha.
And I would have visited this place, but it was nowhere near the Bourbon Trail stuff that we visited. It's kind of way west. And it's an interesting looking place. I was looking at their website last night, and they have their own Green River brand of a bunch of different bourbons. And then they source this out to another company, and they age it themselves, and they call it Kentucky 10.
Kentucky 10.
And now, remember how peppery the rye was that we just did? This is a wheat bourbon, where the Buffalo Trace was a rye bourbon.
It's wheat.
Wheat.
That's wheat bourbon.
And you can even smell it's kind of a sweeter, fruitier smell. And don't you be bumping over Geddy Lee there.
This is what we're doing. I know. He's right behind Getty.
Geddy Lee will curse you until you die if you fuck with him.
Okay, Kentucky 10. Here we
So,
go.
well, you gotta take the nose first. We gotta start doing
Yeah, I
the
do
nose
like
first.
the nose.
It's sweet, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's like
I do
sweet
like
to
the
Because
nose on
Geddy
that.
Lee, the nose, you know.
Geddy Lee's nose would like be dipping into the bourbon.
Calls it his schnoz.
It's good.
Okay.
Think of he talks a lot in his book about all the coke that he did. He could probably do an 8-ball of one nostril. Cheers.
Cheers.
Kentucky 10, wheat. God, I gave myself way too much.
That's a lot lighter than the ones we've tried already.
It is. It's a good mixer, and it's not offensive.
But even like on its own, not even as a mixer.
Just a sip. Yeah. I haven't had that for a while.
I like it. It's
kind of fruity.
Just very light.
it's lighter, but it's got a nice aftertaste. It's warming.
It's got more of a finish than the rye,
Yeah,
I
finish.
think. The rye didn't finish as long as that.
Yeah, no. It doesn't have the heat like the first one, like the Bernheim did.
No, it doesn't have that. It's only 90
It's got a
proof,
very-
and it's not rye. So
Very mellow,
yeah,
very.
that's a good one. I'll buy that
Thank
again.
you.
I'll buy that again next time I'm at Benny's for sure.
Uh-huh.
Especially since Kelly got me a Benny's gift card for Christmas. Can't wait to go up there and use
Oh
it.
boy.
Okay, so now I got to sanitize your glasses first. Now is the life-affirming, life-changing bourbon that everyone says is a life changer. Because how many people can say that they've had chicken cock in their mouth?
We're moving on to
I've
the cock
never-
now.
We're moving on to the chicken cock.
Moving to the cock.
Moving
Yes.
to the cock.
And chicken cock has an interesting story. It was distilled in the 1800s, 1856. And it was very popular in Prohibition-era speakeasies. And they would smuggle it into the speakeasies in tin cans. And there was a fire at the distillery, and they stopped producing chicken cock for decades and decades.
No cock for decades.
And then the cock came back, and
As it
now it's
usually does.
popular. And you can get this in Ohio. I got this in Kentucky when we were on the Bourbon Trail, but you can get it in Ohio. And it's about $60, and it's 90 proof. So, and this is just a regular bourbon, so I think it's just corn, barley, and
Ice?
and
Not ice?
Oh yeah, ice. Grab your cue.
Thank you. Thank you. It's the chicken cock. Apple straight bourbon, whiskey.
And I remember drinking this when we were on the Bourbon Trail, which is where most of this got drank. Oh well. And
Crabber spilled chicken cock.
I really liked it.
Spilled the
I
cock.
drank about half of this with Kelly when we were on the Bourbon Trail.
Uh-huh.
And this was the one bottle I opened when we were on vacation, and I really liked it. So take a whiff of the cock and see what you think.
Ask Kurt, they would laugh at you. Okay.
Cock has never smelled so good. It's interesting.
Smelly cock?
We have a malfunction.
What's
Uh-oh.
going on? You have a break?
Yep.
Oh my god. It's glass. It's broke. It's a hole.
Right where your thumb's at.
How did you get a hole in your
I
glass?
don't know. That's probably how that happened.
It
The
wasn't.
ice?
It wasn't in there
Be
before.
careful, don't cut yourself.
No, it wasn't in there
Oh,
before.
We have a
We have a
technical
malfunction.
malfunction.
I'm so
So-
sorry.
No, you're fine.
Just be careful.
Is the chicken cock
Get
so?
your thumb out of it.
Is the chicken? Well, I'm trying to stop it. It's okay. I want to keep it from leaking. It's all
It's
right.
Well, you don't know if there's glass in there either. so-
Yeah, the broken pieces are right
Well,
there.
I dumped that out.
I know, of course.
Yeah.
I just got these on Amazon last week. Is the chicken cock so strong that it ate through the glass?
Your cock is strong there, Joe.
Jesus, let me get you another one. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Don't cut yourself.
This is a first. They put a round hole, whatever it was, the ice.
There's a
put the ice
fucking
in.
look at this. There's a
Yeah.
fucking hole big enough to stick my
Circular.
finger in.
Don't stick your finger in the hole.
Gee. If I had a dime.
Wow, an interesting development here. As with Kelly's glass, it developed a hole in it. Something. Wow, that was crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that. It was nice and circular. It was just
Yeah.
round. It didn't even crack. It was just.
No, it was a completely round.
Yeah.
How does that
out of it.
even happen?
I don't know. I went to pick it up and it just started
Wacky,
leaking out
wild
the side.
stuff.
Let me grab a paper
This is
towel for
wild
that.
stuff. Let's go.
I'm gonna
Kevin
return
Grace,
that.
cheers.
I want to return that to Amazon.
We'll be back after this. This is just a momentary interruption for.
I bought those
Some
two
cracked
last
glass.
week. I bought those last week just for this tasting, and here's the brand,
Yeah, I know.
the box. So don't ever buy this.
Something was weakened in there. That's bizarre.
But I mean, the hole was perfectly round. I'm so sorry. I'm glad you didn't drink that little glass bullet. What the fuck, dude?
You didn't cut yourself, did you?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's just the weirdest thing ever.
So
So now we have my glencairn that we bought at the liquor barn in Kentucky. Hopefully it's better than the one I bought on Amazon.
Go get the chicken cock down at the liquor barn.
I got some cock at the liquor barn.
Okay.
All right, so let's try that again.
Try not to kill Kelly with this glass.
That's the most bizarre thing
Yeah.
ever.
It wasn't a crack like at the top. It was a round hole.
It was a round hole just in the middle of the side.
As if somebody, did one of those things like where the,
Like they're breaking
the
into a
glass
house.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they take that.
It was perfectly round. It was as big as my pinky finger.
Yeah.
It
We're
tastes like
saying.
Jaeger. No, Mark, it doesn't taste like Jaeger. Fire in the hole. Okay.
All right, so now.
Okay. Take two.
Take two of
Did
the
you whip-
tasting of the
Did you whip
chicken
the
cock.
cock the first time?
No, I didn't. Exploded before I could whip it.
It smells like traditional bourbon to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers to the cock.
Cheers.
Getty Lee saved you from getting cut with that
Right?
glass.
Thanks,
you,
Getty.
Got its own unique flavor.
I like it.
It's got a taste that's more to the front of the tongue.
The finish isn't as long after it's done. It doesn't last as long. Like the cock wows you and then it runs away.
Yeah.
It doesn't stick around.
Yeah, it does have an immediate. It's good. Yeah, and it, like you're saying, it doesn't have much
Compared,
of an aftertaste, but it still seems like it's still staying on my tongue.
I'm not getting much of a aftertaste. A little bit, but not as much as I did from some of the other ones. I don't know. I'm just so freaked out about that hole in
Strange
the
chicken
glass.
cock. Chicken cock. Chicken cock.
That was a little disappointing.
Yeah, you think so? And that was the second most expensive bottle of the ones we've done at $60. So
Huh.
price doesn't always guarantee quality when you're dealing with bourbon. There's some $20, $30 bottles that are freaking great. I've had some $80 to $100 bottles that suck.
Sounds like winter's coming out.
Yes, I put a bunch of Michael into my playlist. Okay, so we have one left. This went by kind of fast, or maybe I'm just getting
It
drunk.
is. No, what are we going to? So just to review, we started with the Malort, just for the novelty of it, the Jeppson's Malort. Then we had the Bernheim.
Which was the barrel proof from Kentucky from Heaven Hill Distillery.
Yep. Then we had the Buffalo Trace Kosher Rye. Then we had the Kentucky 10. And then the chicken cock. And our last
one is Metallica's bourbon.
Blackened.
And
Blackened.
kind of like Gene Simmons would be proud of the gimmick that Metallica has for their bourbon.
Yes.
Because if you're a bourbon fan like we are, you're probably familiar with something called Jefferson's Ocean, where they put the bourbon in barrels and they put it on a big freighter and it sits on the ocean for however long, and the freighter moving on the ocean causes the bourbon to move around in the barrels, and it makes it interact more than just sitting motionless in a rickhouse.
And you can online you can see where that went with it.
Yes,
Where
and
the ship
they
went
have a
with
Jefferson's Ocean Tropics where it goes down to the equator where it's hotter and it's supposed to make a difference in how it interacts.
So that's Jefferson's Ocean. But
Yes.
this, with Metallica's Blackened,
With Blackened bourbon, what they do is when the bourbon is being aged in the barrels, they blast like 120 decibel Metallica music, and the music, the audio waves. If you've ever seen audio waves in liquid, it causes the liquid to move, and so it causes the liquid to interact with the barrel, and it supposedly gets tastier and interacts more and more, and the tannins of the wood come into the bourbon.
Right.
And the cool gimmick about this, where Gene Simmons is like so proud, he wishes he would have thought of this. If you look on the side here, there's a batch number, 128. If you go online to the Metallica Blackened website and you look up batch 128, it will tell you the Metallica songs that they played to age this batch of bourbon.
Wild
And
stuff.
you can spend like $20 and you can order a CD with those songs.
As if you
Is,
could
is that not a great gimmick or what? That's all Lars, but that's the great Metallica Blackened.
Lars from the school
And
of Gene
so
Simmons.
this bourbon in this very bottle, I can tell you the songs that it aged to.
Okay.
Moth into Flame, a shitty song
Right.
from Hardwired. Through the Never, The Memory Remains.
Memory remains.
It's okay.
Oh, no.
Unforgiven 3, a really shitty song.
Jeez.
Disposable Heroes,
Hey,
the
finally.
best song
something
out of the list from Master of
Something
Puppets,
earlier.
yes.
Yeah. You will do.
No Leaf
What I
Clover
say.
Live from S&M 2. Yeah.
No leaf clover.
Right, Escape from Ride the Lightning. And Whiplash from Kill 'Em All.
No.
So you combine all
That's got a
those
good finish.
tracks, and however long this aged, for a couple years, they just played those same songs over and over and over, and this is what you get. And they have a version of this, a rye version of this, and it's called Rye the Lightning.
Ah,
And I've been trying to find that, and I haven't been able to find it anywhere. I would love to get a bottle of the Rye the Lightning, but this is the regular Metallica Blackened, and batch 128 with all these tracks.
Kurt
And,
says hopefully the bourbon is better than that song list.
Yeah.
At least it ends with, Escape and Whiplash.
I had another bottle of this like a year or two ago where the song list was a lot better, and I was kind of disappointed in this one, but it
Was
is
this
what
an
it is.
Ohio find or a Chicago find?
This is an Ohio find. They have some barrel picks at Benny's, some blackened barrel picks that they do just for Benny's, and I wanted to buy one, but they were like $100, so I didn't buy one.
I believe I have a bottle of this in my cabinet at home, which I haven't broken into yet.
Do you? We'll look up the batch number and see. Hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully, you have better songs than this one. So this is the final one. Why are mine always bigger than everybody else's?
You're the pourer, so it's
pourer,
yourself.
yeah.
I'm not trying to do that. See, I can just vomit after you guys leave, and it'll be okay.
Right there. There's the cooler.
So what do you get? What do you get off the nose?
Ooh. That's a nice nose.
It is nice. It's probably the strongest nose I think out of any of them. And you look at some of the reviews, and they have like 80 things for the nose and the taste, and it's peaches and cranberries and oak wood, and they give you all this list of stuff, and it's just kind of ridiculous.
This smells sweet. Very
It
sweet.
does seem a little sweet. What do you get when you smell it? What does it remind you of? I get like dark cherries, like Bing cherries.
Cherries and vanilla.
Cherries and vanilla. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Blackened Metallica. Ooh. That's a little peppery, a little spicier than the last one.
It is. That's almost up there with the rye.
It kind of is. I wonder what the Ride the Lightning one is like.
Yeah, that's like the rye. Yeah.
I like it. It's got a good, strong start and finish.
It's a little stronger than some of the other
Yeah.
ones as far as the mouthfeel and the finish and just
Right.
the overall experience.
Stays on the tongue a while.
I'm still tasting it. Yeah. That's not too shabby. Is your glass still okay? Is there any new holes?
That one's okay.
That's a thicker
That's all-
glass,
yeah.
too. Wow.
Apparently, I was a little too rough on the cock.
I don't. It was an exact hole.
Don't abuse the cock,
That was really weird. Yeah, we were the very last day of the bourbon tour. We went to this liquor store in Lexington where I flew Kelly home from Kentucky, and they had some of these Glencairns, and I bought a couple of them, and there it is. And this was like $3 in the liquor store. These ones were like $11 on Amazon, and the bourbon burnt a hole in it. So the $11 one had a hole burnt in it. The $3 one is strong.
Mm-hmm.
How you guys feeling?
Good.
Good.
Pain? No pain?
No pain?
Feeling buzzed?
A little bit.
You love buzzed.
Glad we did the Malort first.
Yes, that's why we did the Malort.
Maybe we should
Malort
end with
first.
Malort too.
No.
Come on.
No.
Oh, you sissies.
You can.
I would.
I have done my first share of
I would
Malort, and
do
we
it.
are not in Chicago right now.
I would do it.
I don't want to.
I would do another
I don't want to
Malort.
bastardize what we just did. What we just drank and with putting Malort.
Just because
on
I'm an
top.
idiot, I would do another Malort.
We
That's
finished
just
off with
because I'm an
Metallica.
idiot.
Can we finish off with that?
Malort is like the Saint
Yeah, great.
Anger of bourbon.
Making me say anger.
How long did this whole monstrosity last?
We're at
40 minutes?
36 minutes.
46 minutes?
39.
39 minutes.
Not too bad.
Oh.
Well, I hope everybody enjoyed everything.
Yeah. So,
Thank you for joining
well,
us.
we're gonna have to. We're not done. We gotta
Oh, we have to
go
do
over
our...
our scores.
Yeah.
I think the majority of these can be purchased in Ohio, with the exception of the Kentucky 10 and the Bernheim Barrel Proof. They come out with twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
They take a limited number of barrels and they barrel proof them, and they're available twice a year. Other than that, you can't get it. But I think everything else is. This is a little hard to get. This Buffalo Trace Kosher. But everything else you can get in Ohio. Again, ohlq.com is the Ohio Liquor Department's website.
I think you get Malort now too. Somebody
Yeah.
told me
Yeah.
they got.
As of
somebody, I
April.
think- yeah, somebody said
There's a distributor in
Yeah.
Cincinnati that brings Malort into Ohio. And the thing that sucks about Ohio is that the liquor is government controlled. So every liquor store in Ohio has to buy their bourbon, their vodka, their gin from the government. And the government decides what you can sell and what you can't sell. And every month the government comes out with what they call a last call list. And if something isn't selling well, they put it on the last call list. When it's gone, you can't buy it anymore. And there's stuff like this Jim Beam repeal batch that was on the last call list that I bought a bottle of just because it was going away. That is like a Prohibition era recipe that didn't sell very well, so they got rid of it. And when you go to Chicago, a bottle that's $40 in Ohio is $30 in Illinois because of the lack of taxes and the lack of government control and stuff. So Ohio kind of fucks everything up as far as liquor goes because it's government controlled, and government never does anything good. So, but you can get all of these pretty much through Ohio liquor stores, ohlq.com.
Okay.
You can get the Chicken Cot, the Buffalo Trace Kosher in a few places. The Kentucky 10 you can't. The Bernheim Barrel Proof twice a year. The regular Bernheim, the 80 proof Bernheim, is available pretty much in every store. All the Giant Eagles have it. It's a great bourbon for $30. If you like a sweeter bourbon, I
I'm
highly
gonna have to try that because I'm not.
I highly
heard of
recommend
Bernheim
it.
until today.
I highly recommend that. That's a great one. And the Metallica Blackened is pretty much available everywhere as well.
So let's go. We're gonna go quickly review just through what we drank and what we all thought of it. We started off at the top with the Jeppson's Malort, which not bourbon but just the novelty drink. And Kelly, what did you? This is a scale of 1 to 10. Although we did ask if we could go into negative numbers. So, Kelly, what was your rating for Malort?
Oh, I went to negative 10.
You?
No, I did a negative 1.
I just did a 1. It wasn't as strong and disgusting as I thought.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad.
It
but
didn't taste good, but it wasn't just an overwhelming, crazed, nasty assault on my palate. It kind of tasted shitty, but it wasn't incredibly shitty.
Right. I agree.
So I got a 1 for that.
Okay. The second thing we had, the first bourbon that we had was the Bernheim,
And that's the barrel proof at 120 proof.
120 proof.
I gave that a 9 because Bernheim's one of my favorites, and I love that expression.
Now that was the first one that we had, and can I change it after going through all the others? I originally gave it a 7 because that was how we started, but I would give that an 8 now just because it is a higher alcohol, right? That was a 120.
Well, yeah, that was the highest alcohol of anything we had today.
Yeah. So I gave that an 8 after.
I gave it a 9 just because
Reconsideration.
Bernheim's my favorite, and just because I bottled that myself. So the novelty with me is
Right.
it was just very cool, and I have pictures of me bottling it that Kelly took and stuff, and it's just really cool. So, what about you?
I was at a 7 on that too.
Okay.
I was with Eroc on that. The heat on that was just a lot on that.
I'm not usually a fan of stuff over 100 proof. Anytime you see something that's bottled in bond, that's 100 proof, and bottled in bond is they have to adhere to certain government standards where it has to be 100 proof, and there's a bunch of different standards. Anything over 100 proof, I kind of am not a fan of.
Yeah.
So at 120 proof, that was a bit strong for me, but that's my favorite, one of my favorite brands. So I liked it a lot.
They say wine is fine, but liquor's quicker, and that's definitely a way to get the quicker liquor buzz would be to take the 120. Okay, this the second bourbon we had was the Buffalo Trace Kosher Rye, which is that there with your wristband. I gave that a 7. It was a rye. It was okay. It was good. Nothing, if I remember at the time, nothing too outstanding for me.
Kelly?
I give it a 9. I am a fan of the ryes. That's usually my go-to.
I gave it a 9 too because I'm not only a fan of Buffalo Trace, but I'm a fan of Rye's too, and I just think that one is especially good. And if you can tell, before they came, I drank most of this bottle, so I was a fan of it. So, and I have 2 more bottles in my cabinet here, so I gave it a 9 because it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I wouldn't kick it out of bed,
No.
by any means, but I would just, yeah.
So next is the Kentucky 10, which is one of my favorites, which is a wheat bourbon. And but once I really like that one, but once I compared it to everything, drinking it one after the other and right next to everything, I only gave it a 6. And that kind of surprised me because I thought that would be a 10 for me because I really like wheat bourbons and stuff, but compared to the other stuff, I only gave it a 6.
I gave it an 8. I liked it. It was good. It was good.
I actually gave that one a 10. It was actually one of my favorite
Wow.
ones for the night.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
A 10 for Kentucky
10 for
10.
Kentucky
Well,
10.
next time you're at Benny's, make sure you pick that up. For sure. Wow.
I
Excellent.
enjoyed that one. Thank you for
I
sharing that
I
one.
can't believe I rated that one the lowest out of all 3 of you. Wow. I'm surprised.
For being a favorite of yours.
Next is the chicken cock. How would you rate the cock?
I gave the cock a 7.
Okay.
It was decent. Trying to remember specifically. I don't think it didn't have that enough of an aftertaste. It was just kind of there momentarily and then, and then it's gone. 10 minutes and then it's over and done.
I gave it a 6. I remember drinking it on vacation. It was a good bourbon to drink and kind of get a buzz on, but it wasn't anything that I was real fanatical about. It was just something to drink and get buzzed and have fun on vacation with, and it wasn't for $60. I mean, the Kentucky 10 I thought was better for $20 cheaper. So yeah, I would not buy a bottle of that again for $60.
I was with you, Joe. I gave it a 6. Cock was kind of underwhelming. Not really a couple notes to really pick out on that on the flavor. Really no heat on it.
So cock really wasn't that impressive tonight.
Yeah, we had more fun with the name, I think,
Yeah,
than
yeah.
the actual
Anything
bourbon.
else?
Yes.
It's a cool bottle.
It is a cool bottle.
It's cool to have on the shelf.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's a cool $60 paperweight to have on the shelf, but I do. This is the first time I drank it since I was on vacation, so I drank a lot of it on the Bourbon Trail.
Oh yeah,
But-
when in Rome, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
And then the last one, the Metallica Blackened.
Blackened.
Go ahead, Rock.
That was actually my favorite of the night. I gave it a 9.
I gave it a 9 too.
I'll give it a 9 as well.
So I think that overwhelmingly was the consensus between the 3 of us was the favorite.
Blackened.
And that's a $50 bottle. And that's readily available everywhere. And even though the songs that it aged to were kind of shitty, it's still
made a good bottle.
it's still good. Yeah, imagine if they aged to like all Master of Puppets tracks.
Right,
Oh,
right.
yeah. 3 out of 10, I guess, of that song. Somebody else said Joseph Mangus Murray Hill Club. Have you tried that?
What's that?
Joseph Mangus Murray Hill Club?
The Mangus stuff is usually expensive. There's a Mangus cigar blend bourbon that's supposed to go good with cigars. But it's $90 to $100 or $120. I've never tried any of the Mangus blends, but I've seen a couple of them in stores, and I've wanted to try them, but they're just a little pricey. So I've never tried those, but I'd like to.
All right.
So there you go.
Thank everybody for your comments.
Thank you for
Thank you
joining
for tuning
us.
in. We're at Joe Cleon's Bourbon Room.
Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for joining me in my humble abode here. I appreciate it.
Thank you for letting me join both
Thank
of
you
you
for
this
coming.
evening.
It's always good to see you.
Mm-hmm.
You can see Kelly at the merch booth at all Wish You Were Here shows, selling the merch for the band. She
Yes.
is the merch goddess.
January 27th at the Robbins Theater in Warren. And then Friday, April 5th in Akron Civic Theater. Saturday the 6th.
And that's the annual benefit
That's
for the
the-
Palliative Care Center at Children's Hospital.
Akron Children's Hospital,
Yes.
right? Saturday, April 6th at Kemba in Columbus. Saturday, April 13th at Megacorp Pavilion in Newport, Kentucky, which is Cincinnati. And in about 2 weeks, we're going to be announcing our big summer show, which is going to be really special. And it's at a cool venue in Cleveland, outdoor, that blows away our other outdoor shows that we've done over the last few years. And so that's what's going on with Wish You Were Here, FloydTribute.com.
Yeah,
My plugs.
FloydTribute.com. Keep coming back there for all your Play Floyd Tribute stuff.
And ClassicRockDuo.com for all my gigs this week. Thursday, tomorrow, Fairview Tavern. Friday, the Oriole. And Saturday, House of Blues downtown from Jim and Eroc duo this week.
And JoeCleon.com and Joe Cleon on Facebook for all my Facebook nonsense.
I don't have any websites.
You're smart.
And I will.
I go.
I think I'm going to see you at Robinson
Mm-hmm.
out east.
Next weekend.
Yes,
Cool.
that's going to be fun.
That'll be good. All right.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you for Getty Lee for being the
For protecting us and
ceremony
me from
guy.
the glass.
Yes.
Yes, keeping us safe from any Malort overdoses.
Yes.
That was just the coolest Christmas gift. I didn't expect that in a million years. And I opened the box and there was a package and there was that Getty Lee devotional candle. And oh my God, it was great. So thank you, Kelly, for Getty Lee. Thank you so much. He protected us from Malort. He protected us from the bourbon. We didn't get sick, and it was fully because of Getty Lee.
Getty Lee.
And if you get a chance, check out Getty Lee's memoirs, My Effin' Life.
Oh, amazing,
It's
amazing book.
It's a freaking great. Even if you're not a Rush fan, it's a great book.
Yeah.
It's a great book.
Yes. All right. Rock and roll. Right on.
I love you guys.
Good.
You too.
Okay, all right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it.
Peace.
And we are out of here.